The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are no longer seen as a unit with the rest of the firm by the public, according to brand and reputation management expert Eric Schiffer. The commentator discussed the possible damage the Crown may have suffered following U.S. Supreme Court Judge Samuel Alito's mocking remarks made against one of its members, Prince Harry. The California-based expert conceded it's never good for the Crown to find itself in a situation where they would be mocked by those who have a sizable audience. However, speaking to Express.uk, he added, in this case, there is not necessarily a direct link back to the Crown. He added, Harry and Meghan are attempting to leverage the Crown, but there is now a bit of a wall between them and the Crown in the public's view. Harry and Meghan stepped down as full-time working members of the firm in the spring of 2020. Following what became known as Megxi, they retained their full titles, but can no longer use their HRH styles, carry out royal duties, represent the firm or hold royal patronages. Their non-working royal status was clearly visible during the Platinum Jubilee weekend in June, when Meghan and Harry only attended 2 events open to the wider royal family. At the service of Thanksgiving at St. Paul's Cathedral, the Duke and Duchess sat in the second row alongside other non-senior royals. Over the past 2 years, Meghan and Harry have continued to correctly use their titles of Duke and Duchess without the HRH styles on a number of occasions, including when being introduced at events or on the front cover of Meghan's first children's book, The Bench. The Duke and Duchess also reportedly have a strained relationship with some members of the royal family. Both Meghan and Harry have always spoken highly of the Queen, with the Duke telling U.S. broadcaster Hoda Kotb he has a special relationship with his grandmother. Speaking in April from The Hague, where he was attending the Invictus Games, Harry said, "We have a really special relationship. We talk about things that she can't talk about with anybody else, so that is always a nice piece to." On the other hand, Prince Harry spoke with Oprah Winfrey in early 2021 about feeling really let down by his father Prince Charles. However, father and son reportedly met in June, when the Sussexes introduced in person to him and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, their 1-year-old daughter Lilibet Lily Diana in person. The Duke of Sussex is not believed to have met behind closed doors in June his brother Prince William who, as he told Ms. Winfrey, Harry loved to bits but are on different paths. Mr. Alito, who supported the overturning of the Roe v. Wade ruling which had granted the right to have an abortion across the 50 states since 1973, hit out at Prince Harry last month during a speech he delivered while attending a conference on religious liberty in Rome, hosted by the University of Notre Dame Law School. The conservative Catholic judge mentioned some of the world leaders who criticized the Supreme Court's decision on reproductive rights. After mentioning UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the judge said, what really wounded me was when the Duke of Sussex addressed the United Nations and seemed to compare the decision, whose name may not be spoken, with the Russian attack on Ukraine. Harry seemingly criticized the Supreme Court's decision on reproductive rights, delivering a keynote address during a special General Assembly plenary session dedicated to mark Nelson Mandela International Day. The Duke said the world finds itself at a pivotal moment, where people can either be inspired by the late South African leader's indomitable spirit or fall into despair. He said, "This has been a painful year in a painful decade. We're living through a pandemic that continues to ravage communities in every corner of the globe, climate change wreaking havoc on our planet, with the most vulnerable suffering most of all, the few, weaponizing lies and disinformation at the expense of the many, and from the horrific war in Ukraine to the rolling back of constitutional rights here in the United States. We are witnessing a global assault on democracy and freedom, the cause of Mandela's life." Meghan had already mentioned the Duke's position on the overturning of Roe v. Wade in a conversation with journalist Jessica Yellen and feminist Gloria Steinem. In an interview published by Vogue, the Duchess said of her husband, "His reaction last week was guttural, like mine.